President Trump has signed an executive order eliminating the Biden-era electric vehicle mandate. So can you walk us through some of the major changes that we could see?
The big major change, I would say, is the cut in infrastructure spending. And maybe those funds will be directed elsewhere. But the crux of it is that infrastructure is so important in this sector, especially as it grows, because people need places to charge the vehicle. As early adopters have bought vehicles, people that live in cities have gotten their EVs. It needs to spread to more of the mainstream market, the suburbs. And that's where the infrastructure really needs to be pumped up, because we're seeing that that is one of the top reasons why people won't even consider an EV, is because they're uncertain about infrastructure. And it's a tricky one because it's a combination of local government, federal government, automakers to make the whole system work and make it all make sense to consumers. So eliminating that is definitely a blow, because it puts sort of the pressure on automakers to make the system work, because they are moving full steam ahead with their EVs. They've got no choice. They have already planned for this, and they have to get customers for that. So that is, I'd say, one big element of it. And the other element of it is that he has signaled that he wants to eliminate the $7,500 tax credit for EV buyers, and has not been finalized yet, but it feels like that could be in the works. And that tax credit has been really important getting people to consider electric vehicles, because when you think about the fact that you could get an EV lease for under $200 a month, that's attractive to a lot of people. And even if they don't ultimately buy, they at least start to consider and research and learn a little bit more about electric vehicles. So in the future, they're a bit more prepared and maybe more open to the idea of an EV.
And so what does this mean in your view longer term? You know, President Biden had a plan to have half of all new vehicles in the U.S. be electric by 2030. So what happens to that plan? And is there still a future for electric in America?
There's definitely still a future for electric in America. I think that's ultimately where we are going. It feels like in the auto industry, the big themes are electrification and autonomous technology. So cars that drive themselves out on a battery. The question though is like, what is that timeline, and how does that keep getting affected by, who's in the White House? Because that obviously is what we've seen with President Trump, Biden, now President Trump again. He's going to be in office for a while, almost to that 2030 timeline. So clearly that probably is off the table. At least it's not a mandate that he's going to push. But automakers, again, they've been working in the wings to work towards that mandate. So it's not as if they can stop everything that they've been doing and spending millions and millions of dollars on. So they're still going to carry on. It's just probably the market that's going to be the X factor. It's like they can build the vehicles and make them great, but if people don't buy them, then that really is the issue. So it's almost like they're going to try to get there as best they can, but it feels like there's not going to be a lot of support there. So I do think that long term, though, EVs will happen. It seems pretty murky at this point in time, though.